Hey, what's up guys? Signalatives here, and this is going to be my 8th attempt at recording this video. And before this video starts, I would like to say thank you guys for all who supported my videos. I'm going to try to get both videos out today, and this is going to be the final for What If Deku Was Cheated On. And it's going to be going into the manga territory, so if you guys don't want to be spoiled on the manga, then click off this video. That, or I'd suggest going about maybe 40 minutes in. Who knows? If it even is that long, probably might shorten this video to around 30 minutes, maybe 40. But till then, let's get right into the video. Who am I? Someone that you let go. You're the shot you have it, don't let me know. You're the shot you have it, don't let go. Hey, what's up guys? Signalatives here, and last time I left off on this video with Kendo and Eri. Now, before we get into the actual plot, Eri calls Deku dad, and Kendo mom, calls Aizawa grandpapa, and calls all my other grandpapa, and calls Inko grandma. So I'm gonna just let you in on that secret here. Well, not really a secret, but yeah. Also, I'm gonna go into this because this is gonna be a slight big oofs on All Might's part, but like but not really. Alright, now, as I said, Inko Midoriya is pregnant. I'm pretty sure I said this in the last video, and I'm pretty sure they told Izuku. And let's just say, second this happened, it didn't go well for All Might. But, as I said, as Izuku's just like, if it's only All Might, as long as it's only him. Because if it was anybody else other than All Might, who he's already thought of as a father figure, then he would have profoundly put them 5 feet under. Like, that child would be without a father like he was. Like, no cap. But like, alright, now, when it comes to this, Kendo and Izuku, they're sitting in the dormitories, and Eri, she's with them now, and Aizawa, he put in an order with Nezu to have Kendo, Izuku, and Eri move to a bigger dorm because Eri wants to stay in the dorms with her mama and papa. And since literally she's glued to Eri's either glued to Izuku's leg or glued to Kendo's leg. I'ma just tell you that now. It's honestly adorable. I wish I had a photo, honestly, like truly. I wish that actually, never mind. I think I have a photo of Aries' leg. If I don't put one on there, I don't put one on there. But if I do, I do. Now let's get back into the story. Now, let's go to the. Let's just say that it's been around. Since all this happened, Aries overall arc, been around 7 months, and since the sports festival happened like months and months beforehand, and All Might and Inko did it then. I'd say they're roughly on the 9th month mark when they have Eri. So when they get inside the labor room, All Might, he's pacing back and forth. Deku, he's just giving All Might a death glare. Kendo, she's just sitting with Eri, playing with her casually. Well, All Might's just hearing Inko's, well, quote-unquote screams of just straight up pushing something that's the size of a watermelon out of something that's the size of a fucking, I don't know, pear, or like a fucking, I don't know, like a I don't know how to say it, but if you know, you know. If you don't know, then go to sex ed or anything, really. Now, when All Might, he's getting too worried, so he goes in there. He goes in there, he sees Inko struggling, and he says to hold his hand and to squeeze it as hard as possible if she ever feels any pain. I'ma just say this: while this is happening, her quirk is amplified like by thousands of folds. Like, I'm sorry, but if All Might was not there, bro, I'm gonna just say that when Izuku was born, let's just say that the entire hospital was just in the sky, just sitting there for a little bit. I'm gonna just say that. But when she gripped All Might's hand, All Might, he was instantly just on the ground wincing in pain. Like, jeez. Like her grip strength was stronger than, I'm gonna just say, 1,000,000% one for all. Like she's out here breaking my man's hand. Azuku, he's seeing this like the window of the doorway, and he's just laughing, cause he just finds this a little bit funny, and he's just laughing as this man's hands is being crushed, and he's just like, why? And before y'all ask why isn't the hospital flying this time, if I said that I was fine with Izuku's birth, I'ma just say that Izuku's just keeping it down with earthbending. Like, he's just keeping it stable with earthbending. Like, literally, that's quite literally it. Now, Izuku, him being Izuku, he's still a slight bit teary-eyed, cause like he's about to be an older brother. Like who wouldn't be? But nah, when the baby's finally born, I'ma just say it's a boy, and I'ma just say that the child was named Toshinori. Now, little Toshinori Jr., well, Toshinori the second, little Toshinori, he comes out with green eyes and yellow hair. So basically, what you would expect if All Might was actually Izuku's father. Like, basically. Actually, I veto that. He came out with one green eye, one blue eye, and he came out with yellow hair. Now, he didn't have a, before y'all ask, he did not have a full head of hair. He had just like strands of like yellow hair just sitting there, and then he just opened his eyes, and instantly Izuku was like, I shall protect with life. And All Might's just like, my son, my other son, as he's slightly teary-eyed that he now has a family. Like, it just finally dawned on him that he now has a real family of his own that he can call his own. And yeah, no, I'm a time skip a day when they're back in UA, because I'm gonna say that the next day they're back in UA. All Might's taking off some time from work, from hero work and basically schoolwork as well, to spend time with Inko and the baby. So yeah, now they get back to UA. The second they walk into class, Aizawa, he already knows what's gonna happen, because he already spoke this over with Vlad King. So he gestures for everyone to come down with him to call it. I think it was test area. It was like test city Gamma, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think it was like a random test city. I think it was Gamma. Yeah. And he starts to explain to them on the way that they're having a joint training yeah. They're having a joint training with both Class 1B and Class 1A. So it would be Class 1B students training alongside Class 1A students, and it would be like a 1v1, well, 2v2 type arena. Now, I'm going to time skip a bit because this is really not that interesting for the most part. But before I'll ask, should I give Izuku Black Whip now? Nah, I'll wait a bit. Now, know what? Fuck it. I'ma just say that because he already had contact with both the One For All users and the previous avatars at the same time, he already unlocked Black Whip, but he just hasn't unlocked the rest yet. And he just simply can't get the hold on how to use Black Whip effectively without like basically giving into rage. So he just like refuses to use it as much as he would in canon. Like, I'm just gonna say that as my reasoning. So yeah, now let's get into this. Now, all the fights, if you read the manga, all the fights go relatively to canon except for, well, Izuku's. It's Izuku versus, I'm pretty sure, Shitoshi Shinso and Monoma. And while Monoma and Izuku are fighting when they get down to the test area, Monoma effectively tries to touch Izuku. He ends up doing so, and then he tries using One for All. He was crackling while saying, "Oh wow, this power feels immense." As he tries using it, but he gets the baseline of the quirk. He only gets the stockpiling property of the quirk. He doesn't get any of the power that Izuku has currently, but gets the base power, like basically how the first One for All user had it. Effectively, like that's how he effectively had it, the first One for All user. And Izuku effectively ended up folding the shit out of him because of it. Now, let's get to the Shitori Shinso fight. Well, Shinso was I know I'm skipping a lot in the manga. That's because like I skimmed through it myself and I don't know 100% guaranteed on what exactly happened, but I know the gist of it, so I'm sorry. And I know the parts that I truly cared for. Now, Izuku, it's him versus Shinso, and I'm gonna just say that this goes remarkably differently. Because of the previous avatars and the One for All users both being able to communicate with him, he can't be mind controlled. Like literally, it makes him immune to mind control. Like we've seen it before. Like the One for All users just took over his body, made him use One for All, and boom, he's out of it. So yeah, I mean, like he's effectively immune to any type of mind control to an extent. But now everything from here on goes to canon. They have their joint training arc. Izuku finally starts accepting Black Whip, but just can't use it as much. So, yeah. Now, let's cut to a slight thing. Now, while Izuku and I'ma just say I'm rushing through this quickly, by the way. Now, let me just say that Izuku and Kendo and Eri decide to go on a date at this well a family like I don't know errand at the mall, and while they're there they start seeing on the news of basically sheer destruction. I'ma say that I'ma just tell you guys, in the manga, Shigaraki went through a process to increase the power of his decay quirk tenfold and give him the quirks that All for One had, including All for One itself, like the quirk. And this process was thwarted by some heroes who stopped the process when it was around 90%, I'm pretty sure. And this was like weird, but eh. He effectively stopped the process when it was around 90%. And this was like basically like a Nomu lab, so like yeah, they already had this on their radar. They were just trying to find out where it was, so they effectively found it, and yeah. Now, they're looking on the news and they see that this place was raided, and they see that Shigaraki's not down. Like behind the camera and behind the heroes who were basically boasting about their victory, I'm gonna just say that I'm adding stuff, by the way. I'm gonna just say that Shigaraki's not down. He got up and he starts walking. Every step he took, it felt like every step he took was like a shockwave. Now, this shockwave was rather massive, except it felt like it wasn't coming from Shigaraki. It was coming from somewhere else. Something that was big, very big, heading towards the city. And this was Gigantomachia. Now, Gigantomachia is basically a massive, and I mean mountain-sized Nomu that is sentient, and it's like a creature that has monstrous abilities and destroys everything in its path and serves All for One and does his bidding. And Shigaraki's now as well, since he also has all for one for this brief moment. But yeah, now during this battle, Gigantomachia was getting closer and closer to the city. That was, if you heard that, that was my brother. I'm sick and tired of ending the recording because of him, and so I've officially stopped giving a fuck. Now, let's get back into the story. Now, Izuku, he's watching this happen, and he starts feeling the shockwaves as well, because I'ma just say that they felt the shockwaves before they even reached the city, and that's how big Gigantomachia is. He's so massive that he tears through the city like mad. Now, as this is happening, heroes are already rushing to the scene. All Might's already been called in, and All Might still has the remnants of One for All. He still has the remnants of One for All and is ready to fight his heart out. Because he hasn't done that. He didn't do that final clash with All for One. But that was Izuku. He did that ultimate four bending arts, like United States of Smash, that fucking obliterated his ass. Now, well, knocked him out, but now, I'ma just say, if I made Shigaraki get arrested, I'm vetoing that. I'm telling you guys now, I veto that. If I ever made him get arrested throughout this entire series, I veto that. That did not happen. And if it did, he escaped. I'm saying that now. And if I said All for One died, I'm going to say that he survived on his last leg. So, yeah. All for One, he's in Tartarus. On an island. Yeah, Tartarus. Basically where all the worst criminals go. And it's basically an island. And it's where the basic hard-earned criminals go. Like the true worst of the worst. And he's caged there, and that's where Gigantomachia is trying to go. He's trying to go break out All for One. Now, as this is happening, Izuku, he's feeling the shockwaves, and he's immediately about to go off and help the heroes. He tells Kendo to stay with Eri and to take her back to the UA dorms. Eri is scared for her papa, but she knows that he's strong and can take care of himself. So as he's doing this, Izuku, he starts flying, and he's like blitzing towards the battlefield because he knows Gigantomachia is there, and he's trying to get to the city. And they need to prepare defenses before he gets there, but they just don't have the manpower or the ability to do so. All they can do is try to evacuate everyone, and this is where it ends up changing a bit from the manga. Instead of, actually, never fucking mind. It happens almost exactly the same. Gigantomachia, he ends up getting towards the city, and second he steps foot, he mows through cities, like literally districts mowed to the ground. Basically thousands dead. Heroes that have tried to stop Gigantomachia have failed. Momo, she created an agent that basically vials that have enough power to knock out elephants, and created 10 of them and threw them at Gigantomachia's mouth, though it did not take effect, so they thought. And he continued to go on his rampage and going towards Shigaraki to aid him in battle and to help him break out All for One. Now, Izuku, he's getting towards that battlefield, and he's one of the first people to get there, along with Rocklock, Bakugo. I know Bakugo and Shoto and Endeavor didn't get there till later, but I'm going to just say that Bakugo and Shoto got there. And while they're there, basically all the evacuation efforts are going to Cannon, and yeah, I'm going to say that. And Gigantomachia, he mowed through cities, and all you see is just a trail of destruction Gigantomachia left behind him as he's heading towards Shigaraki. Deku, he's already not liking this, so he immediately gets into a fighting stance, and Shigaraki and him start battling it out. Shigaraki, puts his hand on the ground before that battle even started and starts decaying a fucking city. His decay power got amped to such extremes he decayed a city. He did. He decayed an entire city district. That's how massive his decay power is. And during this entire ordeal, Izuku, he's been heading over there, and he finally gets there, and when the battle's about to start, I'm gonna say that, like, yeah, he was heading there, like, not like he was there, but, like, yeah. He finally gets there, and he sees the destruction Shigaraki has caused, and sends no time, like, he expended zero time, immediately started getting into battle. Him and Shigaraki start battling it out, start duking it out, fist to fist, and every single fist to fist made shockwaves. Every time Shigaraki would hit Izuku, his arm would get not Izuku, but like Shigaraki's arm would get shattered, but instantly regenerates, and would start colliding with Izuku, and he starts using the forced quirk activation tendrils. I'm pretty sure it's called forced quirk activation, and he starts shooting those towards Deku. Deku's dodging them midair, starts trying to channel wind in trying to channel wind and fire, creating fire tornadoes, but nothing comes to avail, as him and Shigaraki seem to be relatively even, not having any damage on each other, but Izuku's stamina is dwindling quick because of how much he's straining One for All. And Izuku, he knows that he's not going to be able to do this by himself. But he knows that he has to, because he's the only one who can. And he starts channeling earth and fire. And he starts creating whatchamacallit? Not lava, but he starts trying to use the fire to melt the lava. Not to melt the lava, but like to melt the earth, and to create a lava like wall, so that he could like bend it towards him. And the if you're asking why I don't just straight up give him lava bending, it's because I don't want to. I want him to struggle. Like, seriously, I want him to struggle. And Izuku, he starts duking it out with him, and he uses this lava wall as a way of throwing Shigaraki into it to try and hurt him even more, but to no avail. Shigaraki keeps on regenerating, and the shock absorption quirks have no effect, as the shock absorption quirks that he has makes Izuku's fists seem to have no effect, as Izuku is straight up duking it out with him. And Bakugo and Todoroki end up pulling up to the battlefield early this time, and they see Deku fighting Shigaraki, and they're about to step in before Izuku yells, "No, don't!" as Shigaraki aims his forced quirk activation tendrils at Bakugo and shoots it straight at him. Izuku, seeing this, he instantly bends a wall in front of Shigaraki, pushes him back, making the tendrils miss, but the tendrils start following to where Bakugo is and adjusted to the way Shigaraki was thrown, and starts aiming towards Bakugo. Bakugo, not wanting this to happen, uses his explosions to get out of the way. Barely. And Todoroki, he starts running towards Shigaraki. Well, not really. Like, he's not really running towards Shigaraki. He's just straight up like there. He's like about to send an ice towards Shigaraki, but like, yeah. I actually know, fuck it, veto that. Shoto didn't move. He was too scared, but he was fearless in that, quote unquote fearless. Nah, but like, all right. Off topic. Get back in. Now, Izuku, he spent no time trying to bend a wall in front of Bakugo and push him back to get him away from the battlefield. And Izuku, he starts duking it out with Shigaraki again, except this time he's not holding back anymore. He goes to 100% of One for All. He can use it, but this doesn't mean that it's not gonna do anything to his body. He is using this to like its extremes. He's straining One For All. He's using it to its max. He's not holding back. He starts beating on Shigaraki more and more and more as the rest of the pro heroes start coming to the scene, as Best Genius and the rest of them were trying to hold off Gigantomachia along with All Might and Endeavor there as well. All Might sees Izuku fighting Shigaraki and instantly tries to join the battle, but Shigaraki spends no time with All Might and punches him clean in the gut, knocking him straight to the ground. Now, All Might was just out of breath for a second, but this was just enough for I'm pretty sure Shigaraki to use air pressure to use his air. I'm pretty sure it's I don't know what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's like air pressure. Yeah, he shoots air pressure at All Might, sending him back, and it hurt him a lot, but not like a lot, but like it still hurt him quite a bit. Now he gets hurt by this. Izuku, he's getting even more mad, and he starts channeling more One For All. He starts concentrating One For All into a singular point and releasing it. He starts beating on Shigaraki, starts using Black Whip to cover his arm, and starts beating on Shigaraki using the air to increase the damage of his fist. But to no avail, Shigaraki is still regenerating from this entire ordeal. Deku, not having any of it, starts creating a fire tornado around his arm, and he's encasing his arm with fire and wind, protecting his skin, but also the Black Whip surrounding that as well. Not to no avail, he instantly punches Shigaraki clean in the face, and this punch sent a shockwave through the entire area, creating a crater, knocking Shigaraki clean through buildings. I'm gonna say for plot these buildings are vacant, but yeah. But Shigaraki's still not letting up. He gets back up and starts going towards Midoriya again. As Izuku, he's straight up, well, not Midoriya, but like, yeah. But yeah, Izuku, he's straight up to no avail. They start clashing with each other, creating shockwave after shockwave, until they both get thrown off when Gigantomachia starts getting closer and closer, breaking out of the binds that Best Genius had put him in after he got to like the area where the situation was happening, as he starts to try and go in his tirade once again, but then ends up becoming unconscious due to Momo's sleeping agent finally kicking in. Now, instantly when that happens, Deku instantly goes back to his fight with Shigaraki, starts beating on him, starts using every ounce of his being to beat on Shigaraki, and he goes into the avatar states as he then proceeds to channel all the elements into both his arms this time, and starts to beat on Shigaraki. This time his shock absorption won't do much, but the regeneration is still saving him after his body is still basically being burnt to a crisp and coming back over and over again. He's still holding his own, as everyone is seeing the shows of power, as they're in shock, as basically everything goes to canon. Dabi doesn't get to do his dance thing because, well, Gigantomachia is knocked unconscious far earlier. But let's just get into this again. Shigaraki and Deku start clashing once more, as Deku has had enough of this. He starts pushing his limits. He starts pushing every ounce of his being into this final attack. He's not holding anything back. He's using 100% of One For All. Black Whip around his arm, making the full black gauntlet, as he then starts to channel One For All into that single appendage. And then he starts to rise as blue fire starts to succumb his entire hand, as Izuku's just angered, just screaming at the top of his lungs, as you hear the roars of 1,000 voices calling, as Izuku's using everything, going even further beyond, saying 100%, 200, 300, to 1,000,000%, coating his arm in blue and white fire, blue going to white, channeling lava as the earth splits around him. As everybody's just seeing this roar of sheer power. Izuku's eyes glow a majestic white, as all you see is a blue glow, just surrounding Midoriya, as he then just aims at Shigaraki and punches him so hard it obliterates his entire very being down to the molecular level. Flames burning like a matarasu, lightning striking down. Everything pointing to Shigaraki's demise. Shock absorption, regeneration, nothing could stop this. As All For One starts to scream in his prison, as he starts yelling, "You bastard!" Starts getting angry and foaming out the mouth, saying, "Ah, damn kid! Yeah, kill him was my only way out!" As Izuku's arm is broken now, as his arm is now charred up a bit, broken, but he'll be able to recover. As everybody witnessed this, they witnessed the fall of Shigaraki. Gigantomachia out of the count. Though countless casualties were made, it was not to no avail. Over 10,000 Prohabilitation Army supporters have been detained and are being prosecuted. Dabi, Toga, twice killed like in canon. Though we have lost some heroes as well, as Pro Hero Midnight fought to save her students, as they were attacked by Nomu, as she then dies. Not a meaningless death. Not a all too harsh death, but still death nonetheless. As Izuku then starts falling down out of his form, he then starts trying to move, but his body's just not responding, as he then just passes out. As the rest of the original League of Villains gets away, meaning Dabi and Toga got away, and the new formation of the League of Villains never happened, but that's still not the end of this story. As Izuku wakes up in a hospital, Kendo by his side sleeping on one of his legs, and Eri sleeping on the other. Izuku wakes up, they feel movement on the bed, and they look, and they see, and they both yell, "Izuku!" As, not Izuku, but Kendo yells, "Izu! Izu!" And Eri just yells, "Daddy!" As they then hug him, as Izuku is tired, but he feels rested at the same time. As he then gets knocked unconscious again for a brief 3 seconds. And in those 3 seconds, he was thanked by the One For All users for taking down Shigaraki. Though Aang didn't agree with the killing, Kyoshi was yelling from the back like, "Yeah, that's my boy!" Like Avatar Roku was like, "Yeah, I should have killed that fucker." Like, nah, like, bro, like, nah, y'all did good. But yeah, and don't think this is the end of our story now. We still got a little bit more left, boys. As they then start making their way towards Yue, as Izuku and is known as everything that happened to Shigaraki was caught on the news, as everyone's just surprised, really, just in shock of the power Izuku displayed, including All Might himself, as he did not know Izuku had this power. As we get back to Yue, Izuku walks in with a sling on his arm, but Eri then mistakenly activates her quirk and reverts his arm back to before the injury on accident. She then says, "Sorry, Daddy," as Izuku just says, "Oh, you just fixed my arm, Eri." As He then just hugs her, picks her up, and then starts carrying her to her room, along with Kendo following close behind. As they're about to start asking Izuku questions, then All Might just comes in and is like, yo, leave my son alone for a bit. Like, damn, like, nigga just came back from literally fighting the worst villain that ever could have lived. Like, damn, like, y'all could at least give him a little bit of time. And it did not go like how I said, but you get the gist of it. All Might was more respectful with it. Me, I don't give a fuck, so yeah. But, yeah. Now, Izuku, he puts Kendo to sleep along with Eri, and yeah, we cut to the next day. Eri was dropped off. The next day, Izuku went with Kendo to go visit their parents, well, Inko and All Might's, along with Izuku's little brother, Toshi. As Gran Torino's there, because he wanted to see Toshi as well, and he clubs All Might on the head, literally, just kicks All Might in the face, saying, "Why didn't you do this beforehand?" As All Might's just like, "Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." As yeah, as Azuku then drops off Eri, saying, "Eri, you're gonna stay with Grandma and Grandpa for a little bit, along with your brother, along with Uncle Toshi." As she just says, "All right," and yeah. Now, the reason why they dropped him off is because Kendo wanted to give Izuku a little reward for taking care of the the Shigaraki, and kind of slaughtering him in the process. As for if y'all wonder as for what they did to Gigantomachia, Best Jeanist used more of his threads and wrapped him up again, and with the help of like a lot, and I mean a lot of heroes, they were able to transport him to a facility that was across from the mountain. That was like embedded in a mountain. And I'm gonna just say, and they're just keeping a constant supply of different drugs that they're cycling monthly so that his body does not get used to it and tries to adapt to keep him succumbed and unconscious, so they can figure out a way to completely neutralize him. Now, let's go back to Izuku and Kendo. Now, Izuku and Kendo, they get back to the dorms. The rest of class one is asking Izuku where Eri is. Deku just says that they dropped him off at his parents' house. As he then just says, "I have something to deal with," as he then grabs Kendo as they go to his room. I'm gonna say this. This is all you hear for the next 6 hours. Okay, that's enough 18 plus right now. Alright, and yeah, this time my boy was not wearing Saiyan armor and I mean I tell you, and he did not wear Saiyan armor this time. As yes, he got Kendo pregnant. And now he then gets asked when he figures it out, he's just like, "Do I gotta meet your parents now?" Kendo just says, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, you kind of got me pregnant, so yes, you do have to meet my parents." As Izuku, he's thinking about this. He's like, what quirks would her parents have, and depending on it, is there any way I can get out of this alive? As Izuku then starts mumbling to himself, Kendo then makes a big hand, chops him on the head, and says, "Come on, baby, we're going to my parents' house." As she then grabs him in his hand, grabs her with her massive hand, so he can't get away, and starts dragging him, and starts just bringing him away. Now, when Izuku is at Kendo's house, where her parents live, I actually don't know who her parents are, to be frank, but I'll find out sooner or later. That's narrator POV, by the way. Now, Kendo knocks on the door as, yeah, her parents walk in. Not walk in, but open the door. And and Izuku then refers to them as Mr. and Mrs. Itsuka. As, yes, that is Kendo's last name. So, yeah. And Kendo then introduces Izuku, saying, yeah, this is Izuku. This is Izuku Yagi. As they then say, All Might's son? As they then just instantly went from that cold-hearted face to being like, oh, how did she bag All Might's kid? And then Izuku then says on this back, he's like, what do you mean I bagged her? And then I'm having way too much fun with this. As they then go to sit down, I'ma just say for plot convenience, Eri, Eri's not there right now, so yeah. And as they ask why they're here, and Izuku then says to meet you guys as, yeah, this is not gonna go well for Izuku. You can already tell. And they start introducing each other. Then when they say that they're gonna sit down for dinner, then Izuku just says, "I have one small announcement beforehand," and then him and Kendo, then Kendo just says, "Oh, I'm pregnant." As the mom's eyes glimmer as she just says, "I'm gonna be a grandma." As the man, her father, shit, she glared at Izuku like shit, bro. He was finna die. He gave Izuku that glare that says, "Oh hell nah, yo, this nigga finna die." Like, nah, bro, yo, bring that ass here, boy. You finna get that bow bow. Like, no, he's about to kill you. Like, nah. Like, I'm gonna be for here. I'm gonna be for real here, bro. Like, he finna die. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You finna die. Like, I'm so sorry, bro, in advance. Like, I, like Izuku. Yo, bro, if I was not the what if tuber here, bro, I'm sorry. You're gonna die. As Azuku then just readies to run. As the father then just uses his hand as it's just as big as Kendo's and just smacks Azuku to the ground. As the two females in the room are watching this, Kendo's just low key laughing as Kendo's mom gives Kendo's dad a death glare that makes the dad get a shiver down his spine as he then is just like, yes, honey. As she then says, "Don't you dare hurt my grandbaby's father." As she then, as she then just what's then she just straight up just grabs the man's and just pulls him by the ear and starts pulling him away. So yeah, and Izuku, he's in the ground with like a him-shaped crater on the floor, and he's just like, "Yeah, I called it. Fuck." As he then starts getting up, and he's just like, "Ow!" Like, seriously, he felt that like hard. Like, his back hurts from that. It's like, shit. I had one job, but yeah. Now I honestly don't know what to do now. Oh wait, I almost forgot something I promised somebody at that end. Yeah. No, they have dinner now. Mr. Itsuka still glaring at Izuku, as Izuku then keeps feeling like somebody's literally drilling holes in his forehead as he then looks up and sees Mr. Itsuka still glaring at him like he's about to kill him. And he's just like, yo, I'm scared. Like he then he then realizes like, yeah, why am I so scared? And then the avatars, in unison, by the way, say in their head, "Oh, probably because you got someone's daughter pregnant." And they all just look at Izuku with like a disgraceful look, and then he's just like, "Yo, come on! I see. Damn it! I can't even defend myself, can I?" As Nana then also says in his head, "No, no, you cannot, ninth user." As Izuku's just like, fuck." So yeah. Now, after the dinner, they go back to the dorms. They pick up Ari on the way back. Ari asks what happened with Mama, where you guys were, as they both say to Ari that you're gonna have a little sister or brother. As there's a glimmer in her eye, she gets so happy. And I'm gonna just say that they didn't tell Inko and Toshinori yet. So yeah. So the next day rolls around. Inko and Toshinori and Toshi were invited to the school because the rest of the teachers wanted to see Toshi, excluding Midnight because she dead. So yeah, the school is still quite saddened by that, but still. As Inko and Toshinori get to the school, as All Might just walks in holding his son, and Izuku just walking behind them, just like, bro, come on, let me hold him. As he then just picks up, as All Might then gives Toshi to Izuku, as Izuku's just like, hi. As he then just realizes that he still hasn't told Inko and All Might that he got a girl pregnant. As he's then just like, should I just blurt it out in the teacher's lounge? I mean, they're gonna have to know. As when they get to the teacher's lounge, All Might walks in, Inko walking behind them, and they see Izuku just holding Toshi. As they all ask, "Who's the little guy?" As they then say, "Toshinori Yagi." Toshi Yagi. So yeah, they all get acquainted with the child, and then Izuku then also calls for Kendo, and Kendo comes to the teacher's lounge as Izuku then says, "Yeah, we have a slight announcement to make." As they're just like, "Wait, what?" And Izuku then just says, "Well, Aizawa," as Aizawa then questions like, "Yes, problem child?" As Suzuki just says, "You know how you told me not to said problem child don't get a girl pregnant?" As Aizawa's eyes widen, as the rest of the teacher's eyes widen, as Izuku then just says, "Yeah, I may or may not have gotten Kendo pregnant." As he says that mad fast, everybody's like, "What?" And Izuku's just like, "Yeah." And also, they're in like their second, almost third year at this point. So yeah, I'm just say that now. So yeah, as as Izuku's just like fuck. As Inko is like, "I'm gonna be a grandma and a mom again." As she then starts, as she says, as she then glares at Izuku, as she then says, "Boy, you better get your," as Izuku then just like, "Nero." Nero, Nero, as he then just disappears. All Might being like, revenge. Revenge is it's a fine art. I just wanted to add a little snippet in. Also, one slight thing that I also promised a fan. Now, while Kendo's pregnant, this is like I think the third week. So yeah, she is starting to show signs of pregnancy. Iida is plotting something. He's been plotting this for a while, and one day when Kendo was going to the store, he kidnaps Kendo and brings her to a warehouse where he ties her up. He then calls Izuku, as Izuku picks up, and it's Kendo's phone, as he says, yo babe, what's happening? As Iida's voice is heard, he says, oh, there's no Kendo here. As Izuku instantly gets pissed, she's like, yo, Iida, the fuck did you do to Kendo? And he's just like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a couple of things so before you get here. As Izuku then immediately wasted no time, blitzed over to the teacher's lounge, and puts the phone on speaker as Iida's still talking. As they're wondering what's going on, and Izuku then just says Iida kidnapped Kendo. As they're just like, what? Why would he? And then they realize all this happens. Like, oh, fuck. And if you're asking why Iida's done this, it's because Iida is mad that his girlfriend is still in love with Izuku. So, yeah. And Izuku's mad by this. He didn't ask, yo, can y'all trace this call? As they didn't say, yeah, we have a machine for it. As they didn't do it, they track it to an unknown warehouse near Hosu. As Izuku then says, oh, Iida, Tenya, you're about to join Ingenium. As Izuku then blitzed over, moving faster than he's ever gone, even faster than in his fight with Shigaraki. It's almost as if he teleported there. As the teachers see Izuku's blip that's on his suit just appear there, and they're just like, yo, what the fuck? How fast? Can he teleport now? As almost just like, no, I think that was just sheer speed. Iida's about to die. We got to go. As they then just head over there, and they get there in about 5 minutes. And Izuku walks into Iida yelling at the phone, and him looking at Kendo. Yeah, I am gonna make Iida do some bitchy shit in this. As Iida then starts walking towards Kendo. Izuku, already there, is about to go inside as he hears a scream. As he walks to see Kendo getting her clothes, getting her shirt unbuttoned by Iida. As Izuku sees this, he wasted no time and kicked Iida clean in the jaw. Like, nigga, like, he kicked this nigga clean in the jaw. Like, fuck. Like, he was, no, boy. This nigga's jaw got shattered. As Iida just like, yo, what the fuck? How did you find me so fast? How did you get here? As Azuka said, nah. Bigger question is, what are you doing? As he then says, know what? Fuck this. As he goes off. He goes off on Iida. Like, yo, when I tell you he went off, I mean, like, he's not even using the avatar state. He's just using one for all. As he didn't just start to blitzing around Iida, kicking this man up, being literally looking like Sasuke at this point, doing Lion Barrage, looking like Lee versus Gaara at this point, as niggas is blitzing everywhere. To Iida, it looks like he's teleporting. But it's just Izuku's raw speed, as he then just blitzes Iida, starts kicking his shit in, as as Izuku then, while this is entire happening, all you see is an after image just untying Kendo. As Kendo's untied, she buttons back up her shirt and just runs outside as she sees the pro heroes, and Izuku, and then she just tells them what happened as they're pissed at Iida. They walk in and they see Iida just begging for mercy, as he's then just saying, please stop, as he has all his bones just completely broken. as Izuku's not wasting no time. He's breaking every bone in Iida's body. He's not holding back. He starts bending earth, crushing his legs like a sand coffin. As the pros stop him, as the pros were about to stop him, as Aizawa tried to cancel his quirk, but it didn't do shit. All Might then says, Kendo then runs in and hugs Izuku from behind, and that instantly calms him down. And it was like a fucking mood switch. Like everybody, like the teachers was just like, note to self, don't ever mess with Kendo. Like seriously, never mess with Kendo. If we do, we're gonna end up like him. All Might just has a tear in his eye. He's like, I'm so proud. As Aizawa was just saying the same thing. A Dadzawa dad my moment. As they're just like, I'm so proud. As they then take Iida to the hospital. And Nezu was already there. While they were taking him, he just says, oh, by the way, Iida's getting expelled. As Izuku's fine with it. He doesn't give a fuck. He broke every bone in nigga's body. He probably couldn't be a hero anyway now. So yeah. And 9 months later, they have the child. As I've run out of ideas. So yeah, 9 months later, they've had the child. And this is where my script ends. So this is just me at this point. And 9 months later, he has the child. Izuku crying tears of joy. Eri also crying because she now has a brother. You know what? Fuck it. A sister. A little sister that they're gonna name Izumi. Izumi Yagi. Izumi Yagi Itsuka Midoriya. That's her name. As 1 year later, they become pro heroes. And after that, they become the top 5. They're in the top 5 ranked heroes, Izuku being number 1. And after UA, a year after actually UA, Izuku and Kendo get married. And yeah, they're a real family now. And yeah. Now, this marks the end. And I mean the end of What If Deku Was Cheated On. Well, for now, until more content from the manga comes out, and if I like it or not, I'll maybe redo the series, who knows. But this is the final for What If Deku Was Cheated On, and I will be uploading another video literally after this, as I'm not uploading this without having that video already completed. So, yeah, now, that's it for now. Signal What If's out. Peace.